This video was recorded live before a canned studio audience. It's Friday Night Movie Reviews, and here they are, Chris and Keith.
Hi, I'm Keith.
I'm Chris.
And this is Friday Night Movie Reviews. Thank you for joining us tonight. We love to see you guys, and we love it when you see us because that means that we can be seen. So we're reviewing a movie that we actually went and saw. We didn't see this one together. We saw this at different times, and we're going to give you our personal perspectives of the movie. I actually went and saw this movie with my wife, and Chris went and saw this movie with a friend of his.
Yeah, my buddy Ricky. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good deal. So the movie we went to see was...
No monkeying around. We saw a Cujo, Primate. Yeah.
And there's no monkey business about that.
Oh,
either.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely no monkey business whatsoever. So the movie is called Primate. And we're going to give you a basic rundown and premise of the movie. It's, if you have seen the movie Cujo.
This is pretty much the plot of Cujo. Yeah.
Almost, except they're not trapped in a car for the entire movie.
Yeah.
It is pretty much the movie Cujo. Not really giving anything away here because you can basically gather any of this from the trailer anyway.
So they raised Ben, the chimpanzee, since he was a baby. He was a part of the family. Clearly, a Cujo moment happens, and he becomes infected with rabies.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie, I will spoil this, they give you the definition of the word rabies at the beginning of the film.
Right,
and
right.
A man that had seen the movie the same time I had stopped me. He goes, yeah, I had no idea that was like the true word for rabies. I always just thought it was this word. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the real definition.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was interesting, too, that they put that. Of course, immediately when I saw that, though, I'm like, oh, okay, this is just the chimpanzee version of Cujo.
Right.
Like, I realized, okay, he's not just going crazy because he's like suddenly an evil chimp or
right.
something.
There was a reason behind it.
Yeah.
There was, and no, I'm not even going to bring that up because I don't want to give anything away. The thing is, with this movie, if you know anything about chimpanzees, chimpanzees are afraid of water, and they are several times stronger than a man.
Oh, absolutely.
An adult grown man. I mean, they're several times stronger. They can literally tear their arms off of a person.
And, unfortunately, people have raised chimps similar to this, and without rabies, the chimp has went wild on them and done significant harm and everything else. There was the lady that raised it. It wore clothes, it wore diapers, all this. She'd raised it, and it tore her to pieces. And, luckily, this movie came out years after that happened, so it was very tastefully put out when it did.
Right.
But immediately when I first heard about this movie, I immediately thought about that lady, that story. So I was wondering if they were going to go at it from that angle, but they decided to go the more rabies route to make sure that it was separated from that event of it just being a wild animal. And
so there is a reason behind the craziness that goes on with the chimpanzee, and it's a very, really, to tell you the truth, one of the things that is so scary about this movie is the fact that it could really possibly happen.
Oh, absolutely. They were, the movie makes because the movie takes place in Hawaii, and he's like, we don't have rabies in Hawaii. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they have rabies everywhere. Like, I don't think that's exclusive to like the United States and Canada and places like that. I'm pretty sure Hawaii, they've got it there too.
It's just probably not as widespread.
Yeah, exactly. Because Hawaii obviously is a little island, and
right.
And so automatically having it in Hawaii on an island on like a beach house, it already gives you that same feeling of isolation that Cujo does, where she's trapped in the car, at a farm plantation type thing or whatever. It's a similar type vibe. So you've got that isolation. You're trapped with this animal that wants to harm you. It's very, very straightforward with the plot. Like, there's no existential other issues going on, that kind of thing. It's just monkey
Right.
gone bad, or chimp
Right.
gone bad.
And that's really basically all it is. There's none of this. None of this like real love triangle kind of thing where, oh, well, we gotta. I love the chimpanzee. We can't do this and we can't do that. There's none of that in it. There's no, oh, well, it killed my boyfriend. I got to get revenge. Nothing like that. It's just straightforward. The chimp gets rabies and then goes on a tirade, and that's really the basic premise of the movie. Now, um, could you take your kids to see this? I would say
No.
absolutely not.
From the minute I saw the very first kill in the movie, I was like, nope.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
So this is way more violent than Cujo.
Extremely. I mean, you got to look at the difference in the time when Cujo was made until this one was made. There have been leaps and bounds of the special effects and things like that are going into movies these days, and this one takes those effects and puts them to use.
Mm-hmm.
It is extremely graphic. It leaves absolutely nothing to the imagination.
No.
It is extremely gory, extremely graphic. It has a lot of bad language in it. But,
lots.
I mean,
they're being chased by a rabies-driven chimp that's murdering them all.
I can't really fault the people for using some of the language that they used, because I'd probably be using the same stuff. But at the same time, it wasn't. I mean, I'm not going to say that it was well placed, because there were times when it was a little excessive. But we've seen other movies
that
where
are far
it was
worse.
Far worse.
Yeah, where they're cussing for just the sake of cussing. This one seemed a little bit more natural in that department.
It did.
I mean, could they have gone a little less with it? Probably, but I mean, I'm in a situation where a chimp's literally murdering everyone around me. I think you're going to hear a lot of words like that and a lot of screaming, and which you do in this film.
So it's very graphic. It has a lot of bad language in it. Absolutely no nudity.
Yeah, no adult situations.
No adult situations in it. So, I mean, in that regard, that's about the only thing they left out of it.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would have just seemed like another 80s movie.
Right.
And I will say that if we want to talk about like just the aesthetics of the movie, the music that's in it, they go back to like 80s synthesizer music, and it really sets the mood and the tone for the film.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah, I was very happy with that. Because you were already on edge because you didn't know when this thing was going to jump out at you or anything else.
Right.
And then that music just intensified that. It made me think of those old, like the Terminator and Nightmare on Elm Street, and
it really did. It
brought that feeling back.
The older Friday the 13th movies before they made Friday the 13th 756.
Yeah, Jason in Space and all that. Yeah, it's a lot of that. Yeah,
it was the music, the synthesizer music, and the movie was just extremely intense.
Yeah,
and it just about was intense from the moment the movie started until the end. There were a few little places there where it kind of lulled just a little bit. But that was just setting up
for the next.
That was just the setup for the terrible night that was going to happen with these people.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into, was the movie worth your cash, or was it trash? That's the ultimate question that we ask here at Friday Night Movie Reviews. What do you think? Was it worth the cash, or was it trash?
I think it was worth the cash. To me, the movie was very straightforward. There wasn't really that many lull moments in it. It felt more like an 80s movie where it was just an hour and 20 minutes of your time. Monkey's fine at first, or chimp's fine at first. Bam, starts killing everybody. They defeat the chimp, movie's over, kind of thing. It was just very straightforward. The music in it was really reminiscent of the movies I grew up watching, so I really appreciated that. Now, here's the thing, too, that set them apart. they did not use a CGI chimp. It was a guy in a suit,
Right.
believe it or not.
Right. It was.
And they did it. They did their best they could. Like they kept the chimp when he became evil, and it was clearly a guy in the suit. They kept him in the dark a lot, so you couldn't really tell. So they have learned to use they were using old movie tricks they were using back then that they would have used in the 80s to
the
make the same
lighting
movie
and stuff like that. Yeah.
So I was really shocked that they went more practical than CGI. So I will give them that. It is a suit actor, and of course, before the chimp goes crazy, it's clearly a real chimp. So they did a good job as far as that goes, and he's frightening. He absolutely Ben the chimp is frightening. He because I never knew when he was going to jump out, and he was the kills were so gruesome and brutal and violent. Like when I because I saw it before Keith did, and I was like, hey Keith, just be aware of what's in this movie when you bring your wife to it, because it's a little on the extreme side. I said, this is more of like an old 80s gore movie than it is like how movies are usually made today. So if you're more in line of like The Terrifier or those type of movies, I think that this is the movie for you. So for me, being a more of a slasher gore person when it comes to horror movies, this movie fits what I was looking for. My friend Ricky totally felt the same way. He was very ecstatic about the movie. I enjoyed it for what it was worth. It's so yeah, I was happy with it. So what'd you think of it?
Well, I enjoyed it as well, and I enjoyed it for a few different reasons. The music, as we pointed out, was very nostalgic for me as far as like the synthesizer type music. It brought a whole totally different feel to the movie. The other thing that I liked about it was that it played on an old idea, an already done idea, but I think it probably did it a little bit better.
Okay.
The gore and all of that kind of stuff, I can deal with all of that. But it was well placed. It wasn't like just being gory just to be gory.
Yeah.
There was a reason behind it. It was this rabid animal that is stronger than people are.
Yeah, and it could actually do the things.
And it could actually do these things. There wasn't anything. I mean, not saying the movie was real, super duper realistic, but as far as if there ever was a chimpanzee that got rabies, it could actually do the stuff that this chimpanzee was doing. So it was somewhat realistic in that regard to me, and that was one of the reasons why I enjoyed it, because it wasn't. There were no roll your eyes moments.
Yeah.
Where it does something and you're just like, whatever.
Yeah. I didn't have any of those moments either.
It was nothing like that. Everything was pretty practical. It was kind of a slasher type movie, but for me, I kind of like movies where, where it may get gory like that, but it's because of an animal.
Well, it's still in the same vein as movies like Anaconda and, like Placid. So, I mean, you could look at it from that point of view. And those movies typically were bloodier movies where people got disassembled by animals and stuff. So, I mean, you can look at it more instead of in the vein of necessarily a slasher movie that I've referred to. You could put it in. It's an animal attack movie like Jaws.
Right. Yeah, it's like that.
So
the only argument that I have about it is the ending, where and I'm not giving anything away because I mean you have this anyway, where the three characters come in at the end of the movie and they're just everything is fine and hunky dory.
Yeah,
like nothing has really happened.
A lot happened,
but a lot did
in that hour and 36 minutes. A lot happened.
Where nothing really. I mean, like physically, where they're not hurt. The only one that's hurt is the one that's on the stretcher. I mean, what did you just forget? This other stuff that happened?
Yeah, because the other two,
the
other two were just as hurt, just as bad. Yeah,
maybe even a little bit worse.
Yeah.
Than the one that was on the stretcher. But that's the only real argument that I have about it. That to me was really the only. If I was going to roll my eyes at anything, that would probably be the only thing that I rolled my eyes at.
It was plot armor. That's what it comes down to.
But I will say this: as far as the type of movie that it was, and as far as the movie goes, overall, I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. Now, my wife, on the other hand, My wife was physically exhausted after that movie was over. She kept hiding her eyes. She kept, and there were times whenever, something would happen and she'd jump and yell and then she'd apologize. I'm sorry. No, just scream. Who cares? Everybody in here is going to scream at some point anyway. So, but she was physically exhausted watching the movie because of the gore.
Yeah, it was like that's the reason why I had to like warn you guys before you saw it. I was like, yeah, that way you're aware of what you're walking into.
Right.
And honestly, I didn't know what level of gore to expect because with modern horror movies, I've seen some like Terrifier that will go in that direction, but I didn't know which one this one go. I didn't know if this was going to be more in the vein of like Conjuring, where things happen to the characters, but they don't really show it.
Right.
It
and then you have movies like anything that Quentin Tarantino makes.
Oh yeah.
That you got to have like a tanker truck full of fake blood in order to make the movie.
Yeah.
And then at the close to the end of it, he's got to order another one.
Yeah, so this wasn't like a Sam Raimi Evil Dead, like just buckets of blood exploding out of people.
Right.
It wasn't that. But were there some really gory things? There's a person that gets killed on a bed,
and there's
that was like
there's just about every single one of these moments are those kinds. It's this kind of movie where you're watching it and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
You are feeling the pain as it's happening. So, it's one of those kinds of movies.
Now, if you're expecting like Academy Award winning acting from these people, you'll be sadly mistaken.
No.
They did fine for what it was. You know, a lot of the characters in the movie are disposable,
for
a reason, so they don't need character development or somebody that's a high caliber actor.
And there was no character development in this movie.
There was zero. They had like just a slither amount of like little tiny bit of a backstory about like the main
just
character,
a little bit of a backstory, and that was it.
It wasn't much. This was very meat and potatoes,
right?
Like how horror movies used to be.
Chimpanzee kill people.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That was this movie.
Being bad.
Yeah. Being bad. Yeah, it was that. Exactly. Dead. Yeah, it was that. So, how many sodas would you give this one?
This was a solid one. I would watch this one again if like somebody wanted to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably, because I liked it and everything. It wasn't a terrible movie or anything like that. Probably give it a 7, I would say.
Okay. Yeah. Right along with what I would give it. I'd probably give this movie about 7 or 7.5 buckets of popcorn. Because it was fun to watch. It was fun if you have somebody that cringes a lot and snuggles up to you. How many bowls of rice would you give it, babe? 6? Okay, so she gives it 6. So we're all kind of right there in the same ballpark as far as how we would rate the movie.
Slightly above average. I mean,
it's not super terrible, but of course it's not one that's going to win any Oscars or Golden Globes either.
No, but I will preface that this is probably a better movie to watch as a group, I will say, because you really need that movie theater experience, and I think that's something that a lot of people are forgetting about because movie theaters are going down the drain right now.
Right.
And I would hate to see places like our Regal go under. Like, I shout out to our Regal Cinemas, and I know you guys are group watching, so we're right there with you, man.
Yeah. So it is one of those movies that that you kind of need to see as a group or with someone else. You don't want to see it by yourself.
Yeah. You don't wait for streaming. See this one in theater. But that's our cue. So remember to like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Every subscription helps the channel grow, and we want to continue to make good content here on YouTube. Hit that bell notification for when our next video drops so you don't miss a single one of our releases. And as always, thank you for watching.
Yeah. Grab you up some friends, grab up your family members. Just don't take your kids to see it because you want to keep them out. And even when it comes out on Blu-ray or streaming, you want to keep them away from the TV from watching it. But get your people together. Jump in the car, go to the theater, watch this movie as a group. See if you can get a couple of other groups to go with you. and you guys all sit down and watch this movie, cringe and scream and holler at the top of your lungs, because that's what it's made for. And when you're watching it, always remember, when you got your popcorn and Cokes, enjoy your movie.